Like, if you ever want to just see something so detached.
I saw Avengers Endgame last night with my wife. Now, I didn't hate it, okay? It's a little strong to say that I hated Avengers Endgame, but
this right here is the funniest. Really it's like the most detached thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking human existence. If you ever want to know, like, just how dumb Ben Shapiro is, just watch this. This is all you have to do. You just have to watch this, okay? If you watch this, you will realize just how fucking dumb this dude is. We gotta, fuck, why is it not working? Come on, monitor, show yourself, piece of shit. Alright. Hold on. We gotta do the old fixy. Okay, come back over. Encoding overload. God, fucking. Okay, now face cam is broken too. Bring that back. Monitor left isn't like working properly either. Okay, we have to switch to this. Alright, so now that should work. There you go. Yeah, if you ever want to see something so detached, it's just unbearably funny, we'll watch this together. Cause fuck me, dude. Okay, we're going into this. So this is gonna contain a heavy Endgame spoilers. But who fucking cares? Moving on.
Like throwing cold water on people's favorite movies and the things that they love a lot. Well, I won't say I don't like doing it. I don't enjoy it more than I should. In any case, Avengers Endgame. It is 1 million hours long. It is the Wagnerian ring cycle, and it has moments, but there are a bunch of spoilers coming, guys. It does not work as a film. It does not work as a film. It basically destroys all of the main characters that you actually care about in favor of a bunch of characters you don't. It's got the Star Wars problem. So the new Star Wars basically took all the characters you like and killed them off to make room for characters.
Okay, but here's the first issue. There's nothing wrong with killing off characters to make room for new characters in an ever, because obviously contracts end. It's how you do it. So here's a spoiler for Star Wars. If you why am I mentioning this? So when Han Solo dies, the death was kind of, you know what, justified a little bit. Makes a little bit of sense. You know, it's a little rough because the movie's kind of weird. But it's part of the arc, right? Kylo thinks he has to kill his father to become, to fully commit to the dark side or whatever. For a variety of reasons. I don't know the entire plot of the movie. But that's essentially the thing, right? And then you can look at Luke's death in the most recent film, and it's kind of unjustified. It's a little weird. It doesn't really make much sense. It's weird that he fake died on the other planet, but then really died in real life. So it's a little strange on that one. And then Leia not dying was also a little bit weirdly unjustified, because the entire cabin got blown to smithereens, and then she just kind of brought herself back in. So there's not a problem with killing off your characters. There's a problem with how you do it. So let's see what's his problem with how they did it.
That you don't actually care about. So here's a little bit of the trailer, and then I'll...
Yeah, fucking Ben Shapiro, dude. This is, like, we're going through this because if you ever want to know how extremely detached this dude is, this is how you figure it out.
Explain all of the problems with Avengers Endgame.
Seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave.
Is this the trailer for it?
Became Iron Man.
Actually, hold on, let me just...
The world has changed.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
None of us can go
It relies on the nostalgia that you have for the last 16 films, and it is a cool thing.
Yes. The only proper critique you can have for this movie is that it's a lot of fan service because, well, it's the last film after 22 fucking films. Like, it can't be a fully unique film.
That they were somehow able to put together 16 films that led all the way
22.
up to this final film. Like, that's really a neat achievement on a cinematic level. The problem is none of this works, and they destroy all of your favorite characters, with probably the exception of Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, who finally gets a character arc that is worthy of her acting skills. So here are all the spoilers. So Iron Man obviously plots right? At the end, Iron Man dies.
The weird thing I don't fucking understand is that, yeah, you can see it. There's massive spoilers coming up. I don't know, whatever. The weird thing that I don't understand is that I don't remember Scarlet Witch during the film having that much of an arc. Stop spoilers. What? Yeah, no. if you haven't, the spoiler block has been lifted. If you haven't seen the fucking movie yet, Jesus. And I've mentioned already there's spoilers, and there's spoilers on the screen. Are you really concerned about spoilers? Do you really care? Have you not seen the film already? Okay. Because I'm moving through with this, because I need content for YouTube, and this is like a clear-cut case of Ben Shapiro being a complete fucking moron, okay? And it's not even political whatsoever. It's him doing a fucking movie review. So moving on. He already spoiled the biggest part of the movie. Who cares? He's going on with...
Iron Man's character arc is the only interesting thing in this movie, but they totally botch it. The reason that they botch it is because Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, for all of his movies, the struggle for Iron Man has been not, do I go save the world or am I selfish? That's solved in movie 1, right? The rest of the movies are all about...
No, not everybody knows Ben Shapiro's dumb. There's a fucking huge portion of people that think that he's actually a super intellectual. Look at this fucking comment section. Besides, like, the 4K dislikes. Oh, actually, in this one, people kind of, you know... So, like, look at this fucking moron. I cringe when Captain Marvel with SJW hair. What the fuck does that even mean? Yeah, here's this guy. Just like read this. Ben, I'm 100% on your side whenever you talk about politics, but MCU doesn't care about your feelings. That's a good one. But you see, like, there's Omega fans.
Will he settle down with Potts? Will he settle down? Will he build a family? Can he?
And guess what? This all happens in that film. So now he has a new arc. It's, fuck. Do I revert back to my own old ways? Or do I keep the family that I've built up?
He contain himself? Will he become a solid citizen? Right? That was the struggle of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
When was he going to grow up and be an adult? That
And,
was the question.
and it got solved.
Jr.
Yeah.
And after Thanos snaps his fingers in the first 45 minutes of the movie, you find out that Robert Downey Jr. has gotten married to Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
And that he has actually had a kid with her.
It's called the
And
conclusion of
good,
an
right?
arc.
This is a good
Yeah.
setup.
Uh-huh.
And then it arises through...
American Republican? What? What are you talking about? All right. There's a lot of shit going on. What's going on, boys? Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? What do you mean American Republican? Are you talking about me or talking about Ben or what? Because, what do you mean Dark Souls? What are you talking about? Yeah, slap. What do you want to send me? I'm continuing with this video. No, though.
Really dumb coincidence. Hey, guys, have you ever had the idea of time travel? Have you thought about it?
I mean that Sipsy. What? 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 What are you? Okay, I don't know. You need to be more elaborate, my dude. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Like, seriously? And then Robert Downey Jr. is like, oh man, well, I guess, and I haven't thought about it, it's impossible. Well, I have 5 minutes here, so in 5...
No, here's the big problem. Here's the big issue right now, okay? He's talking about time travel, but the joke is that he's actually been, like, thinking about time travel the entire time, and he just now figured it out. Who fucking knew? Because Iron Man, in the whole fucking film, he's still holding on to Spider-Man. Like, duh! He wants to save the kid. That's obvious. So he's been working on time travel this whole fucking time, but he still didn't figure it out properly. But then, he figures it out in, like, the next scene. It's not like he did it in 5 fucking minutes.
5 minutes, he comes up with a time travel plan. So forget about how silly that is. That he comes up with a time travel plan in the next 5 minutes. It's an Avengers film. You can't look for, you know, him to spend 4 years trying to figure out how time travel works.
Oh, but maybe that's exactly what he did. Oh, fuck. It's almost like he has a massive supercomputer sitting right in front of him.
Or anything like that. But here's the problem. Now, Tony Stark has stakes. The stakes are...
Yeah,
and
he has
they
a
present this
family.
choice. It's ready to be made.
Yeah.
The stakes are, do you go back and change the past and thus lose what you have built for yourself in the aftermath of you becoming a mature...
Well, no. No. That's not what they set up. It's, what? It is, I guess. Is that what they set up? Let's see. Let's think long and hard about this. Oh no, he just doesn't want to die. That's it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have his kids grow up. That's right. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to sacrifice himself. He built up this thing. It's not that he can go. Not that they go back in time and erase it all. It's that they would go back in time, and he might die. That's the premise, and he doesn't want to die now. He's like, he doesn't want to sacrifice himself. Like, that was, I have a family now. I don't want to lose this. This was the premise they set up.
For a human being, lose a daughter. Do you sacrifice your own daughter to save the world? Right? That's a real moral choice. But then they obviate that choice in the next 30 seconds of the film, where they explain that if they go back and change the past, it won't actually change this timeline, and therefore Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, because they have to hop to a different timeline. Because just going back in time and coming forward doesn't solve anything. Because if you went, because they had to make sure that you don't fall into the pitfalls of time travel. Because yeah, if you just go back in time and get the stones and revert everything, and you don't have any kids anymore or whatever, well then you didn't need to go back in time in the first place. Fucking hold on, my bad. I was clicking on this. What is this Reddit shit? What do you got for me, boy? What's up? Okay. That's pretty funny, I guess. I guess it's just because I read the books. I don't know. I read the books. I know this was in there. I read them when I was really young. But that's okay. I guess it's kind of funny that they got him to sign that, but it's not it's not a tremendous victory for for memes. It's pretty good though.
Stark's kid will still be alive, and his wife will still be alive, and everything will be hunky-dory. So now this just becomes another Iron Man film.
Except for the fact that he dies. That's the whole stakes that they put up. He doesn't want to die.
Tony Stark risking himself to go save the world, but there are no heightened stakes at all. So you've built up to his final character transformation into a responsible human being. And the question is going to be, now is he even more responsible than the responsible human being? He's built a family. Now is he willing to sacrifice his own family and his own happiness in order to save the world? And the answer is, we're not going to make him answer the question. Because we're not.
Well, he dies, moron. Fuck. If you die, you didn't sacrifice. You're not losing your family in death. No, yeah, you are. Yeah, his family's gone now to him because he's dead. Idiot.
Of the guts to actually pose that choice. So that's the problem with Iron Man's character. Captain America's character. The problem with Captain America's character is they've always gotten it wrong. So Captain America is basically.
Oh, this is my favorite take on Captain America. Literally, Ben Shapiro, fuck.
Okay. He's supposed to be this crotchety old guy in a young guy's body. A guy.
See, he wants him to be some old racist fucking veteran or something. It's guys, Captain America's supposed to be some old guy in a young body. He's supposed to be extremely racist and a bunch of but he never is. It's not like people's thoughts and ideas can evolve.
A man out of time. Captain America has never felt like a man out of time to me. He's just felt like generic superhero who's.
Yeah, because it would be really weird if you had a fucking character on screen who was what the fuck are these people doing here? and just weirdly subvertly racist or whatnot or stuff like that, and super old timey.
He's kind of dopey and a good guy. Right? That's the way Chris Evans has played him, and this isn't just because Chris Evans dislikes me. Chris Evans apparently, the people who write the script basically felt that he would just be like any normal guy. Like if you saw Captain America,
because he's been in the world for yeah, exactly. What are these black people doing here? That wouldn't be a great fucking character. What do you fucking mean? Don't want to be some like old fucking guy. Jesus.
uniform, you wouldn't know he's Captain America. He's just a guy. Well, that's not how the character is in the comics, and that's not how the character should be here. So the stakes for Captain America.
I hate when people compare the movies to the fucking comics. It's got to be exactly like the comics. Well, the comics have been going on for fucking decades, and they take constant turns and twists. If you want things to be exactly like the comics, then Captain Marvel is the most powerful character, you fucking numpty, and you would be super against that. So go fuck yourself.
America aren't extraordinarily high. Now, Captain America's ending, where they have him basically go back in time, and then he is able to, and then he basically just stays back in time with the love of his life. I was fine with that. I really didn't have a huge problem with his ending.
Even though it's like, of all the endings, to be honest, it was the one that makes the least sense. But let's see where his actual problems came from.
I thought his ending was the most appropriate. I thought Iron Man dying, even that would have been appropriate if they had set it up properly. That was okay.
They did set it up. He literally had to choose between his new life and saving Spider-Man. I know, it's so fucking dumb. Like, I don't fucking understand. He made a choice. Do I save the kid, or do I stay with my current family? And he thought he could maybe do both, and in the end, it turns out he can't. But he made the decision.
Okay. The person who I really couldn't stand what they did with him was Thor. So what they did with Thor makes
Okay, so he really had no problem with Captain America. He just kind of, okay.
sense on a character level. So I understand you guys.
This is my favorite take. My favorite take about Ben Shapiro, because it's a culmination. It's a culmination of all... Whoa. No need to fuck Spider. Okay, simmer down, my friend, okay? But this take on Thor is like a culmination of all of the conservative viewpoints put into one. Ready? Yes.
The joke. You wanted Thor with the dad bod. Got it. Okay, you want him to be fat and burp a lot and be Big Lebowski. Okay, it's funny. For the first 5 minutes. And then this is not Thor. Right? We've had several Thor movies at this point.
I'm gonna let him continue.
Thor's problem has never been lack of courage. It's always been that he is afraid that he does not have the moral fiber to be the leader. It's been that he's afraid of leadership. That's been his moral conflict.
I mean, in other words, he doesn't have the courage to lead. But okay, Ben Shapiro, you use the word courage and you're trying to slip out of it. I understand.
Is that he's been afraid of leadership the whole time, and leadership has to be thrust upon him, and then he realizes he's a leader.
Yeah, and guess what, Ben? This arc was concluded in Thor Ragnarok when he sits down in the big chair like the big leader. And then it gets fucking shattered in front of his eyes when Thanos, in Infinity War, walks onto his ship and annihilates half of the Asgardians and kills his brother, kills his best friend, and beats the shit out of Hulk. That's when that arc started and concluded at the end of Ragnarok. And fucking was deleted instantaneously at the end of Infinity War, or the start of Infinity War.
But instead, they decided to go the direction of not that he doesn't want to take leadership, but that
he did take leadership.
Afraid to participate himself.
Yeah. Do you know why he's afraid to participate himself? Because after 5 minutes after taking control of the Asgardians and becoming the leader and becoming the king of the Asgardians, he gets fucking annihilated, destroyed. So guess what, Ben? This is called depression. I know you're super about bootstrap ideology, and you love that nobody can be depressed. It's just a choice or whatever. But Thor's depressed. That's why he's got a big beer belly, and he's been drinking his ass off for the past 5 fucking years. Because his entire family was annihilated in front of his eyes. And then, when it came down to it, and Thor had a chance to save everybody and stop Thanos from snapping, he missed. And Thanos looked up into his fucking eyeballs and said, "You should have went for the head." And he was like, "No." And then after that, he thought like, okay, redeeming factor. We can go find Thanos on that random fucking planet, and he's living on the farm, whatever. And we can turn it back. It's not too late. Guess what? It was fucking too late. They got there, and Thanos destroyed the stones. So guess what? Now, everyone Thor loves is dead, and he can't do anything about it whatsoever.
And so they make him basically a drunk weakling.
Yeah, because he's depressed. He's depressed.
And you never actually get to see Thor really in action.
Yes, because he's fucking super depressed.
Because they've decided to saddle him with a fat suit for the joke.
Yeah, because they're ending the characters, so he's uber depressed, and this is his last redeeming fight. But he's probably going to show up in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy films and redeem himself that way, because he actually loves being Thor and he's down to play him for the next 300 years. So he's probably going to become part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's why because they got James Gunn before, they decided to keep the fat suit on him the entire film because his arc for the fat suitness will end after Guardians of the Galaxy, or that will happen. They'll poke fun at each other. Him and Quill will poke fun at each other because now they're both fat losers. And then, yeah. Okay? Does that make sense? Fuck. Also, God. And the new, that's the new arc. It literally explains right after the movie. He's like, I'm not fit to be leader. You are, talking to Valkyrie. So now Valkyrie is the leader of the Asgardians, and Thor is on his way to find himself a new, like, family, basically, right? He doesn't want to be leader anymore because his entire family's gone. So he's moving on now to go with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So now there's the joke, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. Get it? Because he's trying to find a new family, okay? Because Thor has literally nobody, and he's not fit to, and he doesn't think he's right for the throne of the Asgardians because, well, like he's not ready for it or whatever, blah blah blah. So he's going with the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it's so fucking easy. Come on, Ben.
Is again not in character and also very so. Like, I was waiting for the point where Thor would just kind of take the hammer or the axe and slam it on the ground. The lightning comes and he's back to being old Thor. Right? I was waiting for that sort of transformation.
That would be the cheapest cop out of the existence. That would he was fat, like depression gone.
That never really happens.
I mean, I know that's exactly how Ben thinks like what depression is. Like, guys, just be happy.
In fact, the best thing about Thor is in the first 5 minutes of the film when he kills Thanos, right? The first 5 minutes of the film where he chops Thanos' head off, that's the best thing that he's got in the entire film. The rest of the time, he's...
What do you mean? There's literally a scene of him beating the shit out of Thor with his fucking axe and his fucking hammer. What are you talking about? God. Oh, the best thing was that swing. No, how about the best thing was the fucking axe and hammer combo. Wombo combo beat the shit out of people. And then fucking Captain America picks up the fucking hammer and fucking beats the shit out of the God.
Basically wasted, which is a pity because Chris Hemsworth can actually hold his own on screen. I don't think Chris Evans can. I think Chris Hemsworth can with Robert Downey Jr., but they don't give him anything to do except be funny, which he is. I mean, in that there's a final kind of thing with Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth that's very funny. Okay, but he was supposed to be more than a funny character. If you watch the first Thor film directed by Kenneth Branagh, it was supposed to be far more serious. Also,
yeah, and in Thor Ragnarok, he ascends to the throne of the Asgardians. He became, like, uber worthy. But then, at the start of Infinity War, that was all taken away from him by Thanos. Thanos, however you wish to pronounce it. I don't know why. I just switch pronunciations. And then he falls into a deep depression and drinks for the next 5 years. Whoa!
My business partner, Jeremy Boring, has pointed out that it's pretty obvious from the film that they wanted Anthony Hopkins to come back and do a scene with Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Hemsworth, they weren't able to get Hemsworth to do it, so instead they brought back Rene Russo for a conversation, and it really doesn't work fantastically well.
Wait, what?
Thanos is built up in the first Avengers.
Oh, you're really fucking harping on that scene where he talks to his mom? That's a good scene. What the fuck are you talking about? That's a good scene. That's his connection to, like, the old world and realizing that, like, his duty's not done and he has more to live on for. Is his mother saying, like, time didn't serve you that well because he's all fucking fucked up because he's got no eye and he's fat and fuck. And his mom's like, don't worry about it, because he wants to save his mom, but his mom, being the witch queen or whatever, like, knows what's going to happen. So she's like, don't worry about me. This is, like, my reality, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Go on. And then just before he leaves, he puts out his hand. Like, this is where he gets his confidence back, because he puts out his hand to grab his hammer, and his hammer comes back. So he's like, I'm still worthy. And he goes back, and he fights. Okay? Like, fuck. It's so simple.
Avengers film. As this guy with an interesting backstory and with an actual rationale, right? He feels that balance has to be brought back because he...
and then this is his take on Thanos, which is the dumbest thing. It's so simple to explain this, but he just doesn't understand.
Overpopulation was a problem, so he snaps his fingers, half the people are gone, balance is restored.
Yep.
Okay, now they bring us back to old Thanos, who still has that same mission, and they basically just turn him into Big Baddie, right? Now he doesn't have an interesting backstory. Now he's just a sadist. And there's a line near the end of the film where he turns to Robert Downey Jr. or Captain America. I think it's maybe Captain America. And he says, your little planet, I'm going to enjoy destroying it. Okay, come on. Like, if you want to draw a good villain, then you can't just make them a sadist. Every bad villain, like...
You know why this was interesting? Do you know why this is interesting? Because Thanos figured out their plan. at like the peak of his power, right? So he's going around conquering all the shit, and he's about to go get all the Infinity Stones. But then he sees an image, a hologram from fucking what's her nuts, showing that like, oh, his plan works, but they're trying to come back and stop it. So he's like, fuck, okay, well, now they're trying to stop me because they're a bunch of assholes. So instead of, like, I don't understand. He's like, I figured it out now. If I annihilate half the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many universes like I destroy or whatever. If I leave half the population, there will always be you guys to fight back, whatever. Sorry, no. He says like it doesn't matter how good the new world is or whatever. There will always be people who will remember. So instead, I'll just annihilate the entire universe and recreate it. Like I don't understand how you understand. Like don't get how he moved to that post. Because he's like, oh fuck. Because like why did he break the Infinity Stones at the start? Well, because he doesn't want anybody to undo what he did. But once the old Avengers come to the new time zone, or Thanos comes to the new time zone, whatever, old Thanos comes to figures out their plan. He's like, oh fuck, okay, it doesn't matter that I blow up the stones. They're just gonna come back and try to kill me. So he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking annihilate your planet and then snap my fingers and just recreate the entire universe. Because it doesn't matter, because he's gonna recreate the entire universe. Duh.
Steppenwolf from Justice League is just a sadist who wants to do bad stuff.
No, he doesn't want to do bad stuff. He thinks that recreating the entire universe is beneficial to all people, even though all those people would be gone. Get it?
But Thanos had an interesting backstory, and the thing about Thanos is that Thanos was willing to sacrifice his own daughter for what he believed in.
Yeah.
Right? Thanos, he's immoral, he's a bad person, but he's willing to make a sacrifice they don't even ask Robert Downey Jr. to make in the second Avengers film. So that is a problem.
Except for he does make the sacrifice by dying.
As well. Now, there are two characters who I do think are treated well by the script. Black Widow is treated well by the script. Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, is treated well by the script. Carol Danvers, the Captain Marvel character, I just have to say that she's insanely boring. So I didn't actually see the Captain
Yeah, she's just not in this film at all.
Marvel film. I'm intending on going and seeing it at some point. I didn't really feel the compunction to see it. But in any case, she's in the film, but she's basically a block of wood that breaks things. Right? That's what Carol Danvers does. She doesn't have any character. You don't know why she's there. You don't know her motivation.
I love this. Guys, I didn't watch Captain Marvel, so, and I don't, I might watch it someday. But in this film, I don't know why she's there. Maybe you should have watched the fucking film, moron. God fucking damn it. Why is she here? I don't know, because she's part of the team. She, like, did some stuff at Captain Marvel, her own film, and she was called here by Nick Fury, and you would know why she was called here by Nick Fury, because if you watch Captain Marvel... What do you mean? It's like ah, fuck. It's like watching the Star Wars trilogy and you watch the last episode and you're like, I don't know who this guy in this mask is, but why did he kill the Emperor guy? And who's this kid with a lightsaber? It's like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this lightsaber green?
She just flies around and she smashes things. All right. And she's
or no, it's like watching the Star Wars trilogy, but you watch the first one, and then you skip the second one and watch the third one. You're like, why does he have a green lightsaber? It's like, I don't know, dude, maybe you missed something in the second movie?
She's Deus Ex Machina. Another point made by my business partner, we had a conversation about this morning, is that one of the problems with this film is that you also don't know the comparative power of the characters. So it's like every character has a power that is equally powerful, despite the fact that they don't.
Yeah, because that's the Marvel Universe. They have to, like, weirdly they have to make people awkwardly powerful so that it, like, flows in the movie scene. This is not, like, a legitimate point to go against the movie. Because it's happened throughout the entire fucking genre, and it's the only way to kind of coherently get a story together. Because, yeah, at any moment, Thor can literally just fucking annihilate everything, because he's Thor, and at any moment, Tony Stark can just invent some ridiculously powerful armor and completely annihilate the entire existence of the planet. At any moment, Captain Marvel can just go on a fucking rampage, start blowing the shit out of everything, right? It's like, if we actually had a normal power balance going on in the DC universe, Black Widow wouldn't exist, fucking Hawkeye wouldn't exist, Captain Marvel and Thor would just be fucking beating the shit out of everybody. Scarlet Witch would just be beating the shit out of everybody. Captain America would be having a rough time unless, of course, he had the hammer. Like, the only way to justify Captain America being in the films is if he has the hammer the whole fucking time. Yeah, like, Tony Stark would just invent some fucking ridiculous shit. Like, you have to power level the shit out of people. Happened in Infinity War where Scarlet Witch was, like, beating the shit out of everybody, and then, like, they got in the ditch with, like, it was Scarlet Witch, the weird alien chick, and, Black Widow, and like Black Widow was like fighting on par with Scarlet Witch, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? It's just for the movie.
Scene near the end where the Avengers headquarters is hit by 1 million missiles, and somehow Ant-Man, who is a human, and Jeremy Renner, who is a human, are fine. They're like the bottom of 20 stories. They're fine. Totally cool. That makes no sense. And there's a scene where Thanos, who does not have the Infinity Gauntlet at this point, is fighting off Captain America and Thor and Iron Man. He's fighting off all three of them. Well, if you remember back to the first Avengers film.
Oh yeah, this is a new hilarious take.
He barely holds off Thor alone, right? Thor shows up, and Thor
Thor's fat now, by the way.
Nearly takes him out while he has the Infinity Stones. So if he doesn't have the Infinity Stones, he's basically just a big bad guy.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've noticed this, buddy, but he's meant to be the most powerful being in the entire universe, basically, and that's why he's capable of holding the stones. If you actually watch the movie, you would realize that it takes immense power to actually just wield the gauntlet. That's why Hulk, half of his body becomes like crippled and decrepit when he uses the stones the first time for a snap. Like, just watch the film, dude. Fuck. He's supposed to be like one of the most powerful people in the entire universe. And you can also tell that his weapons are also very powerful because it shatters fucking Captain America's shield. Like, how did I get this? Fuck.
So why are all three of them unable to take him out?
Why are all three of them unable to take him out? Well, it's because he's one of the most powerful beings in the entire galaxy. And also, in the first movie, he was less, like, bloodthirsty, right? You said this was a bad thing about the movie, but now Thanos actually wants to annihilate the entire fucking galaxy. In the other film, he didn't. He just wanted to kill half. So he didn't really kill that many people. He wanted to leave it up to the snap. He would only kill people that got in his way, or like would at least just defeat them. So that's why he doesn't. Well, he almost annihilates Tony Stark, but like he's doing it because then Doctor Strange has to give him the stone. But like, notice how he doesn't just kill people. Like, he didn't kill Doctor Strange. He didn't kill Tony Stark. When he got the stones, he like left because he wanted to leave it up to the stones. But now that he knows that he has to annihilate the entire universe and rebuild it, he's out there to fucking kill everybody, dude. Get it? Okay. So he was capping his own power in the first movie. Like, that's painfully obvious.
And then there was the NFL ad recapitulation where they're trying to run the gauntlet between players, and it's like, oh.
Literally run the gauntlet.
Okay, I understand you're doing fan service. Look, there's Black Panther. Ooh, there's Spider-Man. Oh, look, they're handing it to this other character who we don't.
Okay, if you understand as fan service, then hop the fuck off.
About yay, and then they're just kind of throwing in the gauntlet just to remind you that all these characters.
And if you go deep enough into it, Captain Marvel, when she got the gauntlet, could have just flown up into the air and just disappeared forever.
Exist. Okay, the center of this universe was always supposed to be Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. They turned
and now their contracts are up, so you have to get rid of them somehow.
Thor into a loser. Captain America.
The entire film is centered around those three characters. I don't get it.
Is boring, and Iron Man, they don't give a full motivation and prohibit him from making a proper choice. Now, they're.
Well, no, they don't. Because at the end of the day, he had to choose between dying. He thought he can get away with both. The entire film, he thought he can get away with both. He thought he can save the kid, Spider-Man, and he thought he could save and stay with his family. Turns out you can't do that. That's why Doctor Strange didn't tell him about the plan, because he's like, fuck, well, now I gotta do this. Though that's the whole finger-pointing thing, one life, blah, 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 1 in 14 million. God.
Again, scenes in this movie that are quite good. The scene between the Hulk, for example, the Mark Ruffalo character, and Tilda Swinton, the character from Doctor Strange, right? That's actually a good scene, right? The scene, the scene with Robert Downey Jr. and his dad, that's a good scene too. But overall, I felt like it was a mishmash. I felt like it didn't really work. I understand that for uber fans.
Good thing you're not a movie critic.
Of Marvel. I'm not speaking as an uber fan of Marvel. I've seen virtually all of these films. I think that Captain Marvel is the only one that I have not seen.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But there are Uber fans who are sitting there like just picking out the Easter eggs. Oh, remember when they did that in this movie? And then we're flashing back to that movie now.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that funny? And there's a lot of stuff there, but that's fan service. It's not filmmaking, and it doesn't give an
Yeah, but it's 22 fucking films.
emotional resonance. The only emotional resonance really is Iron Man's death, which I guess is what it
How about Black Widow's death, idiot?
was supposed to be. And even there,
You like I love her story arc, but I'm just gonna fail to mention that was a good part of the
I
movie.
felt like it was diminished somewhat by the fact that he basically just dies in a normal adventure story that could have taken place in any of the other Iron Mans. Also, final critique. I don't feel the necessity to have a giant battle with all of the people in the universe at the end of every movie.
At the end of every movie. Yes, this happens all the time, guys. Remember when that happened? At the end of every movie? Yeah, I remember that happening after every end of Hulk movie. Yup, that totally happened. Every movie, guys. This happens after every single movie. Captain America ended that way, right, guys? Right? The Iron Man films, they also ended that way. Big mass battle with a bunch of armies.
Didn't like it.
It happened in like 2 recent films, which is Aquaman and this film. And then you could also include Infinity War in that. But then Captain Marvel didn't do it.
At the end of Aquaman, I don't like it here. In fact, the battle was much more interesting when it was just a couple of people.
I don't know why. Okay, this is just like his own opinion on like big battles, because I found it super interesting because I love massive combats between different units. So I'm not gonna mark it or dock it for that because it was just like, you know, whatever. But I'll like review it on like the specifics. So the battle itself, did it have good tactics? Did it have to do this different thing? And it felt like, or like, did it look cool and whatnot? And it did. So it's like in Aquaman when they randomly kiss in the middle of the fight. It's kind of awkward because you're like, people are dying around you. Like this is not a good place to be making out. And like in this one, it's a little bit weird when all the female characters in the film get together and like run the gauntlet together. It's like, where did you all come from? You kind of just appeared out of nowhere. So that's like the only like weird part. There may be a couple other awkward parts about the combat, but yeah, they all of a sudden just kind of get together at this one spot and they're like, "We got you." I'm like, okay, it's a little weird that you all showed up at the same spot, but whatever.
Fighting before all of these things show up, before Doctor Strange unleashes the beast and all these people come walking through back from the dead. It felt throughout the movie like there were no stakes. And this is my big problem. I didn't get anything that I thought was really unexpected. I felt like they deliberately lowered the stakes, not heightened the stakes with that decision that I referred to about Iron Man. I felt like it was
What
blasé
stakes?
and bland.
I don't get it. Like
anyone
everyone
who's
was
really
annihilated.
into danger, and even Iron Man's death is sort of inevitably foreshadowed by what happens to the Hulk when he puts on the gauntlet. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not foreshadowing for Tony's death. That's just showing you how powerful the gauntlet is to wield.
I wish I had liked the movie more since I spent 3 hours of my life on it and $50. The tickets for IMAX were expensive.
I hate that. Fuck off. If you're gonna complain about the ticket prices, die. Like in a video game, please. Because you bought the tickets. You have no place to complain about the ticket prices. Guys, I can't believe I spent all this money on these tickets. Maybe buy a cheaper movie ticket.
Man. But I will say that I understand why people enjoyed it if you're a super fan. But I'm not going to, but I am not up with this is great.
God, it's so fucking stupid.